Sam, how are you? Are you excited for the regular season to get back started?
Yes, I'm good. Thanks for having me on. I'm really excited to get back to playing games with the group again. I think it's going to be an amazing match this Sunday, so we're just ready to get to it.
You mentioned that match. If you guys win, you are top of the table. If you beat North Carolina, courage. How are you guys approaching this match?
Yeah, I think, we're going to have an intense training week. I think we don't need to think about it any differently. I think that kind of unnecessarily adds some pressure to us, and pressure we put on ourselves. So we're taking care of the little things through the week and just taking it a day at a time, focusing on, I think, aspects of our game and our style of play that need addressing, and just working hard every day and prepping for that game.
Sam, playing at Providence Park has become a fortress in the league. However, the Thorns have dropped 2 of their last 3 at home. How do you change the narrative and make Providence Park a really tough place to play again?
Yeah, I think we always take losing personally, very, very personally, maybe too personally. I think even losing at home just heightens that even more. I think we all feel that so deeply. But again, like I mentioned about putting excess pressure on ourselves, I think we just need to come back to the joy of playing here in Portland, and just feeling the incredible energy in Providence Park and the atmosphere and our fans, and just playing free and enjoying the environment that we have here. But yeah, we don't take those 2 losses lightly, and so we're ready to get back on track on Sunday.
Sam, I feel like that was a big talk with you guys last year heading into the championship game, is playing with that freedom. You ended up winning in your rookie season. You became NWSL champion. Now you're under a new head coach in Mike Norris. He's now had you guys over a number of months. What have you liked about maybe some differences in the way that Mike has handled you guys and coached you guys? And what do you feel like has really changed amongst the team this year?
Yeah, I mean, our team's been through a lot. I don't think that's a secret. And I think it's easy for a lot of teams to kind of like go in their own direction during that, and to really go internal, and to allow kind of the outside chaos to have a really detrimental effect on a group. And I'm not saying that have not been hard days and still are hard days, but I think our locker room and our team is really unique in our ability to come together through hardship and to just find a way. And that takes time, and there are a lot of ebbs and flows to that process. But I think Mike and his staff have done an amazing job of creating an environment here that's just fun to play in. And I think going to training is, I know it's the best part of my day. I think it's the best part of a lot of people's days. But we have just an environment where I think there's freedom to make mistakes, to try new things, to take risks. I think we have a really open staff, and one that's committed to each player's individual development. Like, we have a board in our I'm not gonna, I guess, in the stadium, where every player has a little like magnet of their face, and they can put little areas of their game that they're trying to improve, and then a coach can kind of put their name next to it. So they're going to be the coach that's going to help you kind of attack that process of trying to improve those skills. And so I've never been a part, I think, of a team and a culture that is so committed to each player's individual development and growth and success. And, that's if you play 90 minutes or if you don't dress, it doesn't matter. Like, we are all trying to be the best versions of ourselves. And I think our staff does an amazing job of really pouring into us in order to do that.
Sam, speaking of your personal development, we've heard some of your teammates gas you up and say you're one of the best holding midfielders in the NWSL, and I can validate this as playing against you last season on the losing side, sadly. But you have been so great, and it's been so fun to watch your game develop. What are some of your personal goals, and what are you trying to improve in aspects of your personal game?
Yeah, well, thank you. I appreciate your kind words. Yeah, I think I am definitely a growth-minded person. I think if I see improvement in one part of my game, I'm like switching to the next, and that can kind of be a exhausting process at times. So you have to be able to enjoy the growth that you do experience. But I think for me, my biggest focus is just really being like a linchpin of the team, and being someone that can connect all the people around me. And I think that's a really cool part of being a 6, is it's sometimes that doesn't even mean that you get the ball, but it's your positioning, it's your movement off the ball, it's how are you creating space for other players. And so I think I really judge and critique my own game based on how the team is playing and how the players around me perform and how they feel, the space and time that they have on the ball. And so that's been a huge focus of me, of how, for me, is how I can best do that and how I can best kind of set a rhythm for the team, how I can kind of quarterback in that way and just, again, create time and space for other people or set them up for success with one-touch passing, playing to their correct foot. All those little details that I think can make or break a rhythm of a team are really huge for me as a six. And that's something that I want to do and allow the rest of the team to feel connected. And I think that that's one of my favorite parts about playing position.
Sam, so many of us felt like you should have been on this World Cup roster, and now you've had some time to process that disappointment, but you talked about that growth mindset, and that has to play into how you've dealt with this and how you plan to move forward.
Yes, it does. And yeah, I mean, that obviously is not an easy experience. And I know I'm not alone in that experience. I know so many amazing players have experienced the same loss and disappointment. I think for me, I am just really trying to focus again on the everyday process of getting better. And, of course, I felt all those emotions in the first days of finding out. But then it was kind of right back into this process of becoming my best self. And this is now a part of my story. And it's not one I am ashamed of or embarrassed of. I think, if anything, I'm trying to allow it to be an opportunity for me to be even stronger and to attack the environment that I'm in. And I think this period of time with the Thorns has definitely had some ups and downs, and we've had some, I think, uncharacteristic losses. But I think even in some of that pain and disappointment has been so much growth and things that I've learned about myself, about my teammates, about the way that we play. And so, yeah, I've definitely had to be diligent with my mindset about it, because it's easy to, be at home watching the games and to feel that disappointment. And I want to feel it. I don't think there's any shame in feeling sad or in feeling some of that disappointment in this challenging season. And so I've tried to make space for myself to be disappointed, be frustrated, but then to also just show up and to attack every day and to not be anywhere else than right where I am here today in Providence Park, and to just attack every day that I show up here. But I'm excited for the future. I enjoyed watching the team, and it was a cruel way for them to exit. But I have no doubt that they're going to come back even stronger, and I just hope to be a part of that.
Yeah. Sam, this is your answer right there, is why Christine Sinclair says you're the future of this national team for the United States. She is one of the best, and you probably enjoy playing with her all the time. You probably enjoyed watching Canada for their short time in the World Cup, but all these games, there have been so many good sixes playing. So you're probably keying into those players. Who have you liked the most? And maybe in these last two semifinals, who you think is going to have the biggest impact, being that like spiderweb type player that you were just talking about for yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I think a big progression in my game is not, honestly, I'm just going to use the word fangirling, like over some of the other women in my position that I think do such an incredible job, in the ways that I can learn from them or things I can kind of nitpick from their game. Obviously, we're each going to be authentically ourselves, and we all play different. We all have a different style, but there's so many characteristics of sixes that I've watched in the World Cup that I'm like, I'm going to take that. I need to develop that. I think for me, I love watching Lena Oberdorf. I know Germany didn't have the World Cup that they wanted, but I think the defensive side of being a six is one that hasn't come as naturally to me in being a college 10.
Yes.
So that is, I think, her just aggression and her physicality and the way, I mean, she's just like a dog and destroys. And I love that. I think that's something I focus on every training session, every game. Like, obviously not malicious, but, just like getting into hard tackles, and the way that can shift the energy of a game, I think is so amazing. And so I love that part of her game. And I mean, on the ball, obviously she's a beast too. But I would say the other is Keira Walsh. I think she, maybe more than any other six in the women's game, I think does exactly what I was talking about in being a linchpin. And she's everywhere, and her movement is so creative and smart, and she's just in the middle of everything. And it's, in watching it, it's so simple. Like, I don't think, I mean, she's so clean on the ball, but like, if maybe you're just you're not a professional soccer player watching the World Cup, if you're just watching it as a fan, like, maybe it's not as flashy or someone that you would notice right away, but how simple and effective her game is something incredible that I really enjoy learning from. But she is so clean on the ball, so smart with her movement, and she's doing that for England. She is in the middle of everything. She's connecting all the people around her, and you can feel the difference when she's not on the field. So I was happy that obviously her knee injury wasn't worse than what it was, but she does an amazing job of just connecting the people around her and really being that quarterback for them.